where you're going to contain information about the project and about the research and about the tools themselves. Registration is already available. If you don't have an account for the DSS, you can register for free by clicking the register link and completing with information. Remember, this is a prototype, so it's very simple. You should have no problem of just entering the information, and you should be able to log in straight away. So I'm going to start by logging in myself with an account that I have. And as soon as you log in, you're going to be redirected to the homepage where you can see the quick access links for the different tools in the DSS framework. You also have just the latest updates and tweets for PrimeFish and their partners. You also have a quick link to the wiki as well, and to the main website for the PrimeFish project, where you can know more about the project, about the different researches and the different outputs for the project. So I'm going to be demonstrating now the competitive position analyzer tool, which is based on the research that Vine created and just demonstrated. As he said, there are two parts, two divisions of this tool. One is for the fisheries and aquaculture competitive index for firm level, and for the national level as the second part. We also have to remember that the firm level is also composed and subdivided into the aquaculture industry and the wild fish survey. So here at the homepage, you have just this introduction to the tool. You have a quick link to the wiki page for the tool, where you can check some information about the tool, and you're gonna have, you know, the different data about the research and each of the surveys. You also have like some shortcuts. For example, here you can have if you click on this link, you'll be redirected to the explanation of the firm level FASE surveys, and the different questions that are asked, and different data for example data for each of them, and a description of how this affects the competitiveness, basically what Vine just demonstrated to us. So I'm going to first demonstrate what happens when you run the tool without answering the surveys. The surveys do not need to be answered before you run the tool, but the idea is that, of course, if you want to compare with your performance, you're going to answer these questions before running the tool. So I'm going to choose the wild fish survey, which is not completed here. You can see that it says updated survey, and aquaculture is already complete. So I'm not going to complete anything in wild fish survey. I'm just going to fill in the inputs here, and you can fill in with your country name to personalize the report. The country of operation, this is the country at which you're going to be compared at a firm level. So the results for the firm level comparison against your surveys at the firm level will be done at this country. And then you can select the industry to indicate which survey you are using to compare. So I'm going to select the wild fish industry, and I'm going to run the tool. And you can see that my score here, score for cities, is 0, because of course I haven't answered anything, but I still can see the score for Iceland and the results for each of the levels. So first you have the results by each of the subdivisions that Vine demonstrated, sorry. So threat of new entrants, of substitute products, the bargaining power of suppliers, of buyers, and the rivalry among existing competitors. So then after that, you have detailed analysis of each of those subdivisions by question. So each question in the survey is going to be represented here by its number. And if you hover the bar, you also have the text for the question and basically the score that was reached in this question. So you can have a detailed analysis of how this is performed. And here we have all the results for Iceland and no results for Sintisa, because I haven't answered the survey. The national level FASI for at the moment is going to be displayed the same if you complete or not. It's going to be the comparison of the competitiveness in the national level across the different countries involved in this research. To know more about this research, we also have a link to the article in the wiki that explains it exactly to the part that explains the national level FASI and the different pillars and their different data points and different explanation about what each of the pillars is representing here. So you have first a national comparison and the score for total. For Iceland, you can see it's 4.77. So I've come to Iceland here. I can see this represented here, and it's going to show you the difference between the different countries also involved in the research. And then you have the same score, but now you have it subdivided by pillar, and you have, each pillar represented by its weight and subdivision of each pillar's constituents in a more detailed level. So you can see that we have institutions and infrastructure here, and higher education and training here. So I'm going to return to the main page and quickly show you the survey page. You can see that if I click to update the survey, I'm going to be redirected to a page where I can check each questions or maybe answer specific parts of the survey. Maybe the user just wants to know his competitiveness against new entrants, and so he can answer specific parts of the survey, still see the results for that part. And to answer this survey is very easy. You're just going to read the question, and you have a caption of basically what each point represents in a Likert scale, and you can just answer the different questions as you like and save the changes. And you're gonna see that as you answer, it starts filling out your progress and showing your progress into completion. So I'm going to do the same now with aquaculture industry, where I have everything answered already for quickness. And if I run the tool, you're going to see that now I have the score for my company against Iceland. And you can see that it's pretty similar, the results, but I can go into detail now here and see, of course, in which parts I need to improve or which parts are more competitive than the total of my country, and which parts I need, the company would need to improve in this case. And as I said, the national level FASI is going to be the same because it's the data about the country. You can also print the results. You can generate a quick report for that and print it or save as a PDF. You can also download the answers for the firm level in a CSV format, maybe to generate some personal or personalized graphs in Excel, and the same thing for the national level data. And I also would like to remember that this is a prototype, and the idea is that once this starts being used and more users answer the surveys, this tool becomes more and more reliable, with its data being more and more meaningful, and of course